Hello everyone, I just would like to show off two model railroad related stuff I've been working on for a long while now. As with any of my hobbies shown on my channel, I'm not dead. I still interact with YouTube videos and comment and stuff, but I don't even post a lot of videos like I used to years ago. So I would like to show you guys my O-gauge layout, but I also got something else I've been showing off. Well, something else I would like to show off first. This is actually another model railroad related stuff. But I've recently gone back into HO just because I don't want to replace the O-gauge trains. Even though I had a little bit of a bad experience with HO in my childhood, but which is why I went over to O in the first place. But I recently went back to HO because I couldn't find any European trains, or they don't have a large variety and not available. But let's just jump to the project that I'm working on. What you're looking at right now, these are my drawings and plans I put my HO scale European switching layout. As you can see here, here's the background. This is actually my original plans, so please bear with me. I already bought the rolling stock to go with it, even though I had to start out with some decent Chinese Eve model rolling stock from Amazon. 2 already built cars and 2 kit cars. I did a little bit of kit bashing on, you'll see. So right here is like a warehouse here, and 2 box cars. I don't have the box cars. I definitely got a switcher engine right there, but and then these 2 cars are kind of based on the Eve model stuff. And then the next thing is, here's the plan I drew. This is my original plan. It was gonna have like tracks leading out to there, and then I got a warehouse right there. This is gonna have like a background right there. As you can see, like I shown another example with a steam engine, like showing the front of the steam engine coupled to some cars, like if it were to be pulling them out. This is just an operating example. And then here's my plans for it. The measurements, I have to remeasure everything. Like, my preference is Germany, even though I might have some other European stock, like British rolling stock or whatever. The era is going to be like a wide range of decades, going all the way back to the 1980s, and then from there on to the present moment in European railroading. Gonna have European rolling stock, and right now I'm going to be controlling it with DC current analog, and then I'll make the switch to digital. Ever since I had good experience with digital command control equipped locomotives in O scale, and I really love my O-gauge engines because of that. Why not do the same thing for HO in the future? And then here's the same one. This is my proposed expansions plan, and this one actually came to fruition. Here it is right there. Let me show you. First of all, when I started on this layout, I started out with a broken Tyco railroad crossing, and I changed some aesthetics of it since it has some missing parts. It doesn't function anymore. I decided to save this toy railroad crossing and incorporate it into my model railroad setup. This is pretty much the starting point of my layout. And I had to cut the upper part of this layout here off with pliers. Okay, wire cutter pliers. And then I had to sand this down. I put foam in there. And I rebuilt this section just to accommodate this curve here that heads into this warehouse area right here. And note, nearly all the tracks on this layout are all Bachmann nickel silver track. nickel silver easy track from Bachmann. But these two tracks right here, these are some older, lesser known brand of steel alloy tracks. And I detailed this area here to look like it has vegetation growing on it. And I try my best not to derail the trains with the ballast and the reindeer moss piece vegetation. And I decided to keep these two pieces of steel alloy tracks, and I'm getting rid of a bunch of others because since I will be transitioning to DCC in the future, steel alloy tracks can tarnish over time. They degrade faster than the nickel silver stuff. I would not park a DCC equipped locomotive here. This is definitely not a parking area for engines, but I can definitely park cars here. Like you just saw me move that one empty car out. And this is the warehouse I put in there. I'm actually not putting any actual plastic model buildings in or whatever. I decided to have pictures from different model railroad sources of like generic warehouses and stuff I googled. And I took some strips of recycled cardboard strips and glued the paper on. And then I even did the same with the loading platform made out of bricks. This is the brick I put underneath here. This is like a foam block I cut out. I put a strip of cardboard on top. I painted this with acrylics. Like the texture paper, actually found that on the internet. Like I went to different I actually went to different websites to find the texture paper. And then another source of, I don't remember where exactly I found that one from. I usually try to stick with the free stuff for now. And this is the outer boundary area. Note, this bridge right here was originally built right here over the switch track. Right after I got the new tracks, I decided to yank out the road bridge, and moved it over here because that's a good spot to mark the outer boundaries. And I decided to put trees over here, lots of trees, even 2 recycled aquarium plants. Some trees I reused from a diorama kit I had from back when I was a middle school kid. 2 Christmas Village trees I just had to get rid of the bottoms of and put them in so I could place them there. And the rest are all foam grass pieces right here, shredded vegetation, like, well, little shredded foam pieces. And then the vegetation, like the bushes and stuff, those are all reindeer moss. It's alright if I'm a little imperfect because I don't want to sound like Alexa, because we're in the age of AI content these days. So it may not be perfect. And as we can see here, this is another part of the project I'm working on. This is a passenger station made with brick textures. And then going back to this bridge, both of those were actually from a website called modelbrickyard.com. If anyone from Model Brickyard watching, I know you guys are not endorsing me, but I just would like to promote your website. Okay, the textures are actually made from modelbrickyard.com. Should have covered that area, but I will probably get some more reindeer moss vegetation. But all this brick here, and even in the inside of the tunnel, they're from Model Brickyard. You basically go on that website and you decide what style bricks you want, which alignment do you want, what color bricks would you like to have. Would you like to have it be like German style, British, or American style? And then you download it as a PDF file and then you print it out. That's exactly what I did. And I took some leftover foam from new appliances and cut them up into smaller pieces, and I glued the texture paper there. as we're heading to the right, okay, back to this other, okay, this is a work in progress section. I'm trying to build a small passenger station. I know this is a small European themed switching layout, so I would like to have a little bit of passenger service here, like in the form of a single car diesel rail car service. It probably wouldn't fit 2 cars, so it makes no sense to run an express train here. But once I get this all built, it will not be served for a while until I get a 1-unit diesel rail car of a German design to come here. This is my second switch track right here. Oh, I gotta talk about my switches real quick. Okay, gotta move this car back. Okay, this is the first switch track right here. I actually bought this at one of my local flea markets last year. This is like a Bachmann Easy Track switch right here. And this one's a manual switch. And what I actually did is I took like a plastic shaving container, buried it under this section here, and I even put a hole there, put it right there, and I made a hole on there. This is an insanely cheap piece. This is like the cheapest piece of Bachmann Easy Track I ever bought used. The only thing I had to worry about was cleaning it before I use it. Please remember that when you buy tracks used. But what I did here, I actually put the cartridge right here, the shaving cartridge, and I took a paper clip and I bent it and glued it right there and made it go all the way to here. And I actually got a cap that I recycled from something, put there, and okay, the paper clip goes all the way here, and there's a recycled, reused 6-stud Lego brick right here. I just needed to use that so I could keep the paper clip in real nice. This is the only true manual switch that I ever got. Switch off this line onto the steel alloy track industry right here. And going all the way to the right, at the passenger station, we got this throwover track I bought brand new at that local hobby shop last month, and decided to go ahead and this is the most expensive thing I bought out of all the recent tracks from last month. The rest of the tracks I bought, the Bachmann Easy Track I bought used, secondhand. It's good for anyone on a budget. If you're starting out, always buy tracks used, as long as they're in good condition. But back to the switch track right here. This track is an electric manual switch. And as we're going to the right here, we're finally, as you can see, there's a few more trees from a diorama set. There's 3 trees over there that were from that diorama setup. There's 3 more over here. Some additional reindeer moss bushes and vegetation on the right side of the steel alloy parking section. Here's another 2 industries right here. This is like a hybrid of the 2. I currently do not have a European style tank car right now. Whether it's 1 tank car or 2 smaller size tank cars that could sit here. This is where my controller currently sits, and the wiring of that controller goes from the power pack here up to that. This used to be a Bachmann Easy Track terminal re-railer that I made into a tank car unloading platform, unloading area right there. And a lot of these stuff are like some toys from my childhood, a few cheap stuff, and recycled normal everyday products. Like normal everyday objects. Like these 2 fuel tanks right here, they're actually made from recycled pill bottles, and I cut off the top part of the pill bottle I paint the inside black because I don't want the light to shine through, make them look cheesy. This is one of the reasons why I don't like HO trains, because they don't have, like, the older, cheaper looking trains don't have painted insides. So that's why I just paint the insides of these pill bottles. Then I paint the outside of the pill bottles gray, and I reused some model kit sprues from some non-train related model kits. I might have to show them later. So you recycled the sprues and made the piping on these two bigger tanks. Two smaller tanks right here, those are also recycled, made from two cheap dollar store toys from my childhood and some other parts as well. And this is a field truck from my childhood. This is a majorette field truck I repainted. It used to be like some generic milky cow truck, and I just used a paint marker, painted over all that, and made it into a generic field truck. It could be a Roll German oil company field truck, but who knows. And then here's the goods shed right here. This is for another track. I could actually run a box car or even one of those gondola cars right here. I'm using the Eve model gondola cars I just showed you guys. You'll see more in the video. The park here. And then I made the buffers out of some broken old HO tracks. So, might as well jump to the switching operations. Long for now. Here is now my O-gauge layout that you guys have known for years now. These are the new 072 tracks, and you guys have wondered why everything looked different here because I replaced my MTH 042 inner loop with the Lionel 048 loop, which was originally from my Conrail set for those of you who remember watching my channel back when I used to call myself Trainmaster 189 before I became a furry aeromorph artist. So this is my Lionel 048 curves, and these are the new 072 curves. And I bought them from the same local hobby shop that I bought these Bachmann Easy Track sections here. These are the ones for the headroom staging track from that switching layout that you guys just got done watching. So I bought all 16 pieces to make a full circle, and now I can finally run my European O-gauge trains and whatever larger O-gauge engines I can run on. But as you can see here, this is my 2x4 that was recently added. Let me take you guys over here real quick. I'm gonna have to squeeze myself in here to see the rest of the board. This is the plank right here that was added on, and it's now like a 7x8, not a 6x8, because we had to do this. I had to do this with my family so I can be able to have wider curves, have these wider 072 curves go all the way around the layout so I could be able to run anything. So I had to make that special accommodation, and thanks to the help of my mom and my dad, when my dad came here from his home out of state last month to spend some quality family time with us, we went to a local hobby shop from one of the neighboring areas near my hometown to get all these tracks. And Mom, Dad, if you're watching this video, I would like to say thank you very much for the help, and I really appreciate it. And let me show you guys what else I have done. I used to run the TMCC brick up here, and now let me turn these lights on. I have two old closet lights underneath the table I mounted on, so it makes it easier for me to get in. Okay, pull the purple chair out, the purple MTH chair out, so I can be able to crawl in and have access to the back part. But this is my DCS system right here. I hope you guys can see it all. There's not a lot of room to show you guys. The TMCC brick used to be up here. And the problem is, it does have radio interference issues. So my Lionel Conroe SD80 set and my Norfolk Southern Lionel SD40-2, both with legacy rail sounds. I never owned a TMCC engine. I came too late on that to buy a TMCC engine brand new. So they can have the same issues as well. But I found out what was the best thing ever is to run a longer copper wire from the TMCC. This is like a ground issue. Let's see. Okay, here's a wire. Here's the black cord right there, and I daisy chained it to that cord on the output, on the ground sections of the DCS fixed out 1 and 2, which are going up to the layout. I wired all this, and then if you follow this cord all the way down, here is where the TMCC brick is. So it's like about somewhere between 3 and 4 feet under. It has to be like, I wish I would have learned about it years earlier, even back when I used to live in a trailer over a decade ago. And I moved houses twice since then. But this current residence I'm in, I'm so happy to do this, and I get to do some other projects I wouldn't be able to do before. But back to the TMCC brick, I was finally able to have room to put the TMCC brick down here. And I wish I would have learned about how it has to be like 3 or 4 feet away from the DCS system the DCS system can be hidden underneath the layout, but the TMCC has some radio interference issues. I'm talking a lot. Okay. And I will show you an old clip at the end of the video. So I had to put this down here, and now I finally was able to run my Lionel locomotives without the radio interference issues that much. And I'm continuing to learn about model railroading as I go. I may not be perfect, but I'm learning as I go, and I'm learning things from my experience, especially the HO stuff from earlier. Now here's a short clip of my layout with my Lionel Conrail set running on the 072 curves.